Hey, what is up you guys? This is Game Webcam here, and today I'm going to be giving you some pro tips on the Roblox game Epic Minigames by TypicalType. So all of these tips that I'm going to be doing for this Roblox game in particular, I'm going to be performing these all on a pro server, which means that the minigames that you are currently seeing right now are much harder to complete than their normal server counterparts. Now, this is a server that I am completely by myself on. There are no other players on the server with me, so it should be much easier to demonstrate certain minigames, while there are other minigames that I feel like are going to be a lot harder to demonstrate, especially the team minigames where it's required to have teammates to demonstrate the pro tips. However, if we can get at least 10 likes on this video, then I will probably be making another pro tips video and probably be doing more team minigames to demonstrate the various pro tips that you could be using to increase your odds of winning these minigames. Now, before we start, I just want to say this right now. These pro tips are going to increase your odds of winning games, but you are not guaranteed to win minigames from left to right. These tips are definitely meant to help you understand the minigame and hopefully increase your odds of winning the game. But there are no guarantees that you are going to be winning the minigame 100% of the time. Now let's get started on the pro tips themselves. Dizzying decisions. Now, there's a strategy to this, and I'm going to show you guys this strategy in a moment. It's not that hard, really. So the strategy is you want to get to an edge of the center platform, keep an eye on the platform that is selected, and keep your eye on the platform that is moving. I'm going to use my cursor just to show for a proof of concept. So now I know it's this one. And I am full-on confident that this is the correct one. Sometimes people don't get the correct platform because of lag, and if that happens to you, then it's very unfortunate in a later round. So let's try this again. It's going a little faster this time. Again, using my cursor as a proof of concept. There we go. So it's this one. Again, we could do this with full confidence, because you could see all four platforms really easily. Alright, I'm not going to show my cursor for this one because this one's going to spin really fast. Alright, so it's this one for sure. So we know I'm confident we're going to survive this. One thing that really disturbs me about this minigame in particular is that sometimes people go in between the platforms and they somehow manage to survive it. And that is what really bothers me about this minigame. I wish the hitboxes were more refined so it would make it so cheaters can't win this. But who knows? Maybe it's shown as a legitimate platform on their screen. Alright, so we won that minigame, so hopefully that's the pro tip that you can learn from this. Always try to make sure you can see all the platforms on the screen, so that way you can keep track of which where the correct platform is going to land at. Next minigame is going to be Destroy the Statue. I mean, this one's not going to be too hard, because I am the only player here. So what I'm going to do is just conquer all three cannons and pretty much just hit the statue. That's all I really am going to do. And we're going to see how much damage we could do to the opposing statue. Alright, so we took over the last one. Since there are no other players that are going to try and stop me, I'm going to go straight over to the statue and start hitting it a bunch of times. The strategy of what I do in this minigame when there are players around, try to make sure that you at least have 2/3 of the cannons conquered. If you have 2/3 of the cannons conquered, you're gold. After you have at least 2 out of the 3 cannons captured, just go straight over to the statue and start hitting it. You'll be doing way more damage this way than if you were to try and capture all 3 cannons. So we managed to do a total of 622 damage to the statue entirely. Let's see if anybody can beat that score in a single player. Alright, so Train Trouble. This one's not too hard as well. It is a little bit harder because it's on a pro server, so there is less delay between each and every one of the segments, but it is still doable. Pro tip, go to the back of the train. When you go back to the back of the train, that gives you the most amount of time to see what a segment is and react to it. And after each segment, be sure to go to the center, because if we were to get the case where we would get opposing segments, we gotta be sure we could be able to reach those in time. So always go to the center after each segment. Using those 2 pro tips, I managed to complete the minigame easily. Marble Madness. Okay, so this one's also going to be interesting. I'm going to see if I can get all the marbles into the pit. There is a physics trick that you could do to make the marbles go super fast and be able to push them into your pit. It is a very finicky tactic, so you may not be able to push them in really easily, but it gets them in quick. Okay, so 1 ball instantly landed in the opposing team's pit, but obviously, well, there goes another one. So the thing is, you want to stand on the top, on this portion of the ball. Make sure that you stay there, and essentially with the ball, and then just press W as the ball rolls in your direction. And you'll see that the ball just goes faster and faster as you keep pressing W. Do not press space, because as soon as you press space, what's going to happen is you're going to get off the ball and you're going to eventually lose that momentum. So only jump when you are confident that the ball is going to land in the pit. I don't think I'm going to be able to get them all in on time, but let's see if we can get this last one. Yes, alright, there we go. 9-6, so the opposite team got 6 free marbles, obviously due to the physics, but that was still pretty good. So there's a pro tip for you guys to learn about that minigame. Shark Survival, when it comes to a pro server, you want to speed run these obstacle courses. The obstacle courses, you need to speed run these. The shark is going to be right up on you to the very second, so you need to speed run through these obstacle courses if you want a chance of making it. So as you can see, I'm going really fast here. I'm not stopping at all. I'm trying to make sure I can win this. And it looks like we barely made that. Again, you gotta be really snappy on an obstacle course like that if you're gonna make it. Alright, so this one's not that difficult either. You just need to make sure you are aware of your surroundings, because if you are not aware of your surroundings, you are going to die really easily. Always look ahead in this minigame. So as you can see, let's look for a weak point. This looks like a weak point for this platform. Always look ahead of you in this minigame. If you don't look ahead of you in this minigame, I guarantee you you're going to make your life very difficult for yourself. So as you can see, I just dodged that by looking ahead. I think this is the best way because there are 2 pillars right there. Gonna go right here because this looks... Alright, so there's another lava pillar up ahead, so let's move right here. Now I'm gonna start looking up to see where I need to go. So this looks like the best spot to be in right now. And then I obviously gotta move out of the way because there's a pipe right up there. So move over here, and boom. We completed that minigame on pro mode. Alright, slippery sledding. Similar to the marble race, you want to make sure you don't go too fast. If you go too fast, you're going to lose control of where you are, and you're just going to make your life much harder. So when playing this, be sure to go fast, but not too fast. You don't want to lose control of your box completely. And if you do get flung out of your box due to bad physics, then I feel sorry for you, man. But that is obviously a glitch. We made that with 9 seconds remaining, and I just leveled up too, so that's awesome. Crumble Island, there's really no strategy to this. There is no strategy. This is one of those games that are completely based on an RNG. If you don't know what RNG means, it's random number generator, meaning that this minigame is completely random. There's no skill involved in beating this. But the best way to decrease your odds of falling is to make sure that you are standing on a corner. So one of these platforms can fall off and I will still be fine. Just be sure you're not standing on a single platform, because if that platform falls, you're out of the game. The best strategy you can do to decrease your odds of losing, stand on a corner. Stand in a center point. See, like that piece just falled and I didn't have to die. I could literally just move on to another one. I was standing too much on that square piece, so I obviously fell off of that one. Sometimes it's better to stay in between 2 platform pieces than 4. Alright, so on Desert Dehydration, everybody has a misconception of drinking the soda right away. But with this pro tip, you're going to make your life so much easier. So when you get a Block C Cola, do not drink it right away. If you drink it right away, you're making your life much harder. So I'm going to go get a Block C Cola right now. I'm starting to lose health. I'm going to wait until my health is in the red zone before I start drinking this Block C Cola. If I wait until my health bar is red, then that means I'm good to go, and then I can start drinking my Block C Cola. So as you can see, a lot less Block C Colas are being dropped because of the player count, so I really have to use this pro tip in order to survive this minigame. Alright, let's drink it. Be sure to survive. Get this one. In a server with more players, they drop a lot more quickly. So if you are able to get a whole lot of Block C Colas, get like 4 or 5 Block C Colas, and then you're good to go. Just wait until your health bar gets into the red zone before you drink your Block C Cola. It honestly makes you use less Block C Colas, and it makes your life much easier. So that's the pro tip for Desert Dehydration. Alright, Hard Pressed is one of these games where you just have to avoid being a certain position. There are other mini-games that are similar to this one. This one just happens to have an additional conveyor belt that you need to use. So let me tell you the basic strategy for this. Try your best to stay in the center. If you stay in one of the 2 edges, you may get cornered in and you are guaranteed to lose the minigame. So when you can, try to make it to the center and stay in the center. And also, for this minigame in particular, do not try to work against the conveyor belt. Try to work with the conveyor belt. If you try to work against the conveyor belt, you might not be able to escape certain death. And obviously the conveyor belt was working against me, and it did the certain pattern where it would go 3 at a time. So I obviously couldn't make it in time, so that was very unfortunate. I got unlucky, but that's the general 2 pro tips that you want to take if you want to win that minigame. Balcony Bolt. This may be very difficult for single player, but in multiplayer, there is one invariant that you got to keep in mind when playing Balcony Bolt. When you see a player exit from a door, do not go into that door. Go into a door where you are not seeing players exiting. Use that strategy and you will be able to make it a couple floors. But obviously, since I'm the only player, this is going to be very disorienting because I may not be able to even win this. I can't use this strategy because there's no other players to keep track. So I managed to make it to the 2nd floor, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the balcony in time. There's just no way. Yeah, there was no way that I was going to win that. I couldn't use my invariant for that minigame because there were no other players that I could rely on. But hopefully that's a pro tip that you can use for future minigames in case if you're struggling on that. King of the Hill. This is a really hard minigame to win. I even have a hard time winning this minigame. But I'll give you a couple of tips. They may not be the best ones, but here's the tips that I usually use when I play King of the Hill. When I play King of the Hill, always stay in the corners. Usually with normal servers, they will always try to get into the center and they will try to knock each other out that way. But if you try to stay in the corner, you'll at least last a couple more seconds before a player comes after you and they knock you off the hill. This is a tip that a lot of players are going to find annoying and unfair, but maybe try to B-hop. If you don't know what B-hopping is, you just hold down the spacebar and just keep jumping. That's what B-hopping is. If you keep B-hopping, there is a less likely chance you may get hit. You may get a couple more seconds before you eventually get knocked off. Now in pro servers, players are more intelligent enough to go to the corners and start eliminating people individually, so this may not work for a pro server. But those are the two tips that I usually take when I play King of the Hill. But again, it's really hard to win a game of King of the Hill. Above water. Now this is an interesting minigame because what most people tend to do when they play this minigame, they always shoot for the front pillars first. But if you are an intellectual like me, what you would do is always aim for the back pillars first. Your teammates are most likely going to be shooting for the pillars that are in front of the platform. So let your teammates shoot the pillars that are in front of the platform while you can just simply launch rockets at the ones at the back. If you do this strategy, you'll be doing your team a favor and you'll be knocking down the other team quickly. Clear side is a pretty random-ish game. Of course, whether a volleyball lands on your side is completely RNG, but some tips that you can take to make this game a little bit easier for you: enable shift lock. If you enable shift lock, you get more vision and have the control of first person. When you do this, you are able to see which balls are starting to come onto your side of the court, and you could easily use that to your advantage to deflect the volleyballs back to the opposing team's side. Blast mining, this one is kind of dependent on the RNG, because if you are given too many bombs, then you are likely to lose the minigame. So this minigame, even if you were to deploy your best tactics to make sure that you get all gems and avoid all bombs, if you get too many bombs in a row, then that's going to affect your chances of winning. So this is a sort of random minigame, but always double check to make sure that it's a bomb and it's not just a mine. Alright, I got a lot of bombs at the end, so that did really affect my chances. I could have gotten 25, but 22 is not bad. That's an average number of ores to mine in a minigame like that. That's pretty average, so Skewer Shuffle's not that hard of a minigame either. So there's a general area that you want to stay in for Skewer Shuffle. I'm about to show you that right now. So you're going to notice that the barricades are always going to be in these three spots for each and every single occurrence of this minigame, which I find really interesting. I wish they would randomize the position, but sadly that's not the case. You want to stay in this bottom right quadrant here. If you could stay in this bottom right quadrant here, you're going to be able to prepare yourself for most of these attacks that are coming your way. So I obviously took an inefficient route, but I still managed to make it either way. Stay on this square most of the time, because that means you'll be able to make it to any route possible. You are able to dodge the up and right by default. For the bottom and left, all you have to do is just go... For the bottom one, you just have to go here. And for the left one, you just have to go down here, and then you're good. But yeah, that's the pro tip for beating this minigame. Just stay in this general area and you're pretty much good. Alright guys, that's all the pro tips that I'm going to offer in today's video. If you want more pro tips, then be sure to leave a like on this video. If we can get 10 likes on this video, then I'll probably make another video on this and give you even more tips on how to beat even more minigames. If you are new to the channel, then why don't you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification, and get notified for each and every upload that I make on this channel. I am planning on making many more videos for this channel, mostly Roblox, couple reaction videos, and all of that. That's all I have for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!